Clearly, there's a contest going on to make sure that we come out of the EU on October the 31st, and there are people in Parliament who plainly want to block that, and that includes Jeremy Corbyn, the SNP. I think they're wrong. I think the people of this country want us to get on and do it. Now, I said to them, okay, you want to have these endless, pointless delays. I don't think the people of this country want that. Let's try an election. They've said no to that, which is curious. They don't trust the people. They don't want an election. Okay. Perhaps it is that they don't think that they will win. Fine. I'll go to Brussels. I'll get a deal, and we'll make sure we come out on October the 31st. That's what we've got to do.
You keep mentioning October the 31st. You've made it abundantly clear that's your line in the sand. If you can't deliver that, you're going to have to resign, aren't you?
That is not a hypothesis I'm willing to contemplate. I want us to get this thing done. And, I think the people of this country also do. And there's an opportunity to be so much more positive about all this. I still think that there's, so much negativity around about this country, about what it can do, and about Brexit. I'm looking forward to a Britain where we no longer wrangle about how exactly we're going to come out of the European Union. I want to be leading a country where we're building a fantastic new partnership with our friends over the Channel, where we're doing free trade deals around the world, where we're driving forward all the ways in which this country leads. And, look at fantastic Scottish beef, for instance, which I've just been looking at. Not a morsel of it currently goes to America. You could do a free trade deal with America where you don't import their hormone-treated beef, but you do a deal on high-quality products. You allow Scottish farmers to sell, to discover new markets around the world. That's the opportunity for this country. We should be, to say nothing of Scotch whisky and all the rest of it. We should be so much more positive about the UK and what we can do. And all I see is Jeremy Corbyn, the SNP, clubbing together to try and lock us into the EU when it's time to get this thing done.
You move to Monday, another attempt to force the election that you want to have, but you're having to dance to the opposition's tune. They're not going to let you have that election. What do? You're boxed in.
If it's there, I think it's the most sensational paradox. Never in history has there been an opposition party that has been given the chance to have an election and has turned it down. If I may say so, I think that they're making an extraordinary political mistake, but it's their decision. They don't want to have an election. They don't want to move this thing forward. Fine. We will get a deal on October the 17th, 18th, and then we'll come out of the EU. But that will be the beginning of a process in which we start a new partnership with our European friends, plus we look to new opportunities around.
To take criticism from members of your own party, the way you treated the members of your party who you removed the whip from. There's a suggestion this morning that you should allow an appeal mechanism. Is that something you would consider? And is there a way back for those members?
Look, I want to be very clear about this. It grieved me deeply. I don't want to do. These are friends of mine, and I've worked with them for many years. But we have to get Brexit done. And we were being very clear about the risks we're running now in snarling up the process of leaving the EU in Parliament. And yes, of course, I'm going to reach out to those colleagues and have been reaching out to them, try and find ways of building bridges. But I've got to be clear. We must get Brexit done, and that's my message to my colleagues. Let's come together, get this thing over the line, and unite our country, and then get on with defeating the Labour opposition, when they finally have the guts to have an election.